Presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Florida.
On a Sunday in Miami, lot to do for the Marlins. They would like nothing better than a series split with the Cubs. Game 4 weekend series. That is Lori Petty, who is a star from League of Their Own, as the Marlins celebrate that iconic baseball movie. Yeah, that's not bad. That's pretty sweet. Of course, Tom Hanks, Gina Davis, a lot of others in that movie. Hi, everybody. Rich Waltz along with Todd Hollinsworth. The Marlins would like a split of their own and beat the Cubs here on a Sunday.
Yeah, well, it's such an interesting series. They're kind of going back and forth. The Marlins pitching steps up in game 2. They need that pitching to step up today, and Edinson Volquez and the bats to start waking up. They've been winning a few ball games here, but we're getting used to seeing all this offense. Marlins would love to get the offense rolling today.
When you talk about the Cubs and beating the Cubs, yeah, Rizzo, Bryant, those are big names. There's been a couple guys, though, in this series that have really hurt Miami. We start with Javi Baez.
Yeah, Javi Baez, it's very interesting. I've watched the way that the Marlins have kind of gone at him. They throw him off-speed pitches early. A lot of times you're seeing fastballs late, and he's been on them using the entire field. So he's locked in right now, swinging the bat particularly well. The problem with this is the guys around him in the lineup are doing it as well, including Ian Happ. You see him right here, 8 for 12 in the series, 2 doubles, switch hitter, power, both ways. The middle of this lineup has just been creating havoc for the Marlins.
How about Addison Russell, another guy that's had a big series?
I'll tell you what, this connection, we thought Bryant and Rizzo were the guys that you were going to have to contain. Well, Addison Russell, 6 for 13, 3 doubles to homer. Collectively, here's what you need to know. Over 500 batting average in the series.
So, Edinson Volquez's job, get Bryant, get Rizzo out, and get the rest of those guys
Right.
out, and give the Marlins an opportunity to win. The Marlins face a lefty in Mike Montgomery. We got the pitchers coming up. We got the lineups coming up. What else do we got? A little Inside the Marlins preview. One Heartbeat, the 97 World Championship. That documentary runs today after the game. We'll have a preview when we return. magical year here in South Florida. A World Series and a title. Let's go out to center field with more on that. Jeff Conine, who was along for that ride, Craig Minervini.
All right, thank you very much, Rich. Yes, 1997, 20 years ago. We'll give you a clip. First of all, Conine, it never gets old talking about it, right?
Never gets old. We did it earlier in the show, and
Yeah.
you get the goosebumps. I'm about to get them again because I could watch this all day long. And Matt Shedenheim did an outstanding job with this documentary, and we're going to see a clip of it.
All right, here it is. One heartbeat.
And your line drive over second base into center. It's a hit. The Marlins are in the win column. The world champion Marlins.
We had a lot of veterans that were making good money, but there was only one chief, and everyone knew who that chief was.
We knew we had the ball club. It was no speculation or doubt that we had the team. But as the old saying goes, you got to play the games on the field.
And for the first time in baseball history, there will be seafood on the postseason menu.
It can be called a team of destiny. I look back at some days and I said, you know, it's pretty special to me.
My best friends now and the best teammates that I ever had.
His motto that's on our ring, it says one heartbeat.
Because everyone had a piece in this.
Different guys kind of stepped up at different times.
Society don't recognize the guys that are not the big name or the heroes, but they all did something to, and that's why they got a ring to show for it.
And that was what we did. We played as a family. We played together so well that we're like brothers out there.
One heartbeat, the story of the 1997 World Series champions. And it will air right after our post-game show today.
Worked again.
I know, it got you.
Worked again.
Is there,
every time.
Is there anything else you think about, like 20 years later, that maybe then you weren't caught up in that moment?
I mean, you just look at the clips and the parades and the celebrations we had after we won.
Yeah.
Miami really came out for that and treated us really special. And that was a special team. It really was.
That boat parade was neat in Fort Lauderdale. And, of course, the celebration down here is just great for South Florida. All right, so that's after the ball game. But we got to talk about Cubs and Marlins here. Game 4, Marlins going after a series split here. But they're going to have to defeat Mike Montgomery. Did a good job against them at Wrigley a few weeks ago. Ball game coming up with Rich and Todd next.
Jeep, get great deals on the Jeep lineup at the Jeep Spring Clearance Events by the Florida Department of Transportation. Drive sober or get pulled over. By Southwest Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. That's right, League of Their Own. The All-American Girls Professional Baseball League. That terrific movie 25 years ago. The anniversary and celebration today here at Marlins Park. Part of that movie was filmed at Wrigley Field, so here we go with the Cubs. Southwest brings you the starting lineup. Anthony Rizzo is at first base. Chris Bryant's in right. Ian Happ is in center field. Addison Russell at shortstop. Miguel Montero, the catcher. Tommy LaStella is at third base. Javi Baez, big series, at second. Mike Montgomery, the pitcher. Joe Madden has him slotted up in the 8th position, and Miami's John Jay hits 9th.
On the mound for the Marlins, Edinson Volquez, 3.8, 4.19 ERA, 14 starts. This will be number 15. Very interesting month. Last 2 starts, obviously, he's had a rough go of it. 9 walks, only 7 strikeouts, only 8 2/3 innings in those 2 starts, so has not been efficient, has had trouble with his command. This is a big start because the Marlins need a long one from him. But you also look at the start of this month, he was outstanding. Obviously had the no-hitter, and those are the numbers he's got against the Cubs. There you go, 11 starts, 7-0 record, 3 ERA. Good numbers, but watch the walks. Walks is an issue.
Miami defensively, the Fish and Don Manley giving a couple guys a day off.
Here is today's Marlins defense. Marcell Ozuna, Ichiro gets the start in center field. Giancarlo Stanton over and right. Martin Prado, JT Riddle, Eric Dietrich over at second base. Justin Bour, JT Realmuto, and Edinson Volquez on the mound.
Ichiro out in center field, getting the start, ready to go. With Stanton to his left, Ozuna to his right. You'll get a look at Mike Montgomery, the lefty on the mound. Christian Yelich gets a day off. Not a bad time to get a day off. Day game here, off day tomorrow, so the equivalent of a 2-day rest for a couple of players, but I suspect you'll see him before the day's over. Rizzo goes full bore at the first pitch, pops it up. Prado is there, and Martin makes the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out. A nice way to start the day for Edinson Volquez.
Well, that's exactly right. It's Volquez certainly looking to be more efficient than his last 2 starts. More walks than strikeouts, lots of pitches, and not enough innings to go along with it. We've had a lot of conversation over the last few ball games. Starting pitching has not been going deep enough, really putting the bullpen in a very vulnerable position.
Chris Bryant now. And Bryant takes a fastball down low. Bryant in last night's ball game was 1 for 4 with the double. He's had a really nice series. A lot of walks too. 4 walks in the 3 games. 3 hits, a homer, has driven in 3. Volquez dots the outside corner.
1-1 through 3 games. It feels like the message was to contain Rizzo and Bryant for obvious reasons. What's gotten lost in all this is Russell, Happ, and Baez have all been hitting over 500.
There's the righty-on-righty changeup, which has been such a good pitch for Volquez, and was really on that day when he threw his no-hitter against the Diamondbacks.
Now, great action, great movement. You see it diving into the strike zone for Chris Bryant. That's well below the knees.
1-2. Bryant hooks it foul. In fact, that game against the Diamondbacks, as you remember it, Volquez turned his ankle on the first play of the game. Hung in there, at times was thinking he was coming out because the pain and the mobility and all of that were compromised. But he hung in there. He throws the no-hitter. He threw well his next start, and he said, you know, that sprained ankle actually helped me. He actually made a joke a few days ago that he wishes he'd turn it again.
Take it out to the warning track.
Take it out to the warning track
right.
And get
Twist
it right
your
back.
ankle.
And for him, it was all about balance and all about not firing towards the plate. That's what he felt that the ankle injury helped him do.
Interpretation. Really what he's getting at is that at 75% or 85%, once the ankle injury happened, he was at his best, as opposed to being 100% or 105% or 110%. Baseball players do that an awful lot. They always want to add a little bit more to their own effort, thinking that more effort gets better results. And in fact, what he's admitting to, it forced him to do less, give less effort, and he was getting better results.
Well, he's given Bryant some really good changeups, and Bryant has fought a couple of them off. The count remains 1-2. Ian Happ is up next. Then you got Addie Russell. Breaking ball, and Bryant stuck with it. Drills it to left for a hit. Really good at bat by the reigning MVP of the National League.
Just look at that knuckle curveball. Rolls up there just a little bit. Doesn't get down in the zone where he wants it. It's going to be interesting to watch Edinson Volquez this afternoon to see if he throws more breaking balls. That's the one thing that really stood out his last couple starts. Awful lot of changeups, but that breaking ball, he just wasn't using it as much. I felt like coming into today, he needed to throw it a few more times. See right there, that was up in the zone.
Here is Happ, dangerous hitter, powerful, versatile. He takes a strike, switch hitter. See his series numbers: 8 for 12, couple doubles, and has driven in 3. Bryant will steal a base if you sleep on him. He has swiped 6 this year. Happ swings and misses.
And he does not get cheated. Has not been getting cheated this series. Though with 2 strikes, he's shown some development. Heard early on that gets a little wild and crazy sometimes. He'll chase pitches down and out of the zone. Certainly swings at about 110 miles an hour on about every pitch. But with 2 strikes, he's really cut down his swing and got better in this series, putting the ball in play.
0-2. Happ is a walking advertisement for anybody looking to get in a lineup, and that is play in a lot of spots. Game 1 he started in left. Game 2 he started in right. Game 3 he started at second. He's in center field for Joe Madden here in game 4. 4 games, 4 different positions, 8 hits. Whatever gets me in the lineup. 1-2.
Well, it's a two-way street right now. Joe Madden's doing anything to get him in the lineup, not because he's trying to get him playing time, because he's so hot. He's really solidified things at the top, at least in this series. For the Cubs, a lot of down numbers across the board for the team offensively this year. Happ has been a stabilizer. It's showing up in mid-May. Hitting for power, taking the extra base. We've seen that a couple times already in the series as well.
Hayward just on the disabled list. Zobrist is about to come off the DL. Schwarber in AAA. Happ getting a great opportunity and making the most of it. Bryant still at first. 2-2 coming. He runs. Happ in the air to right. Stanton going back at the track, has room, squares up and makes the catch. So that's an accomplishment. Getting Happ out hasn't been easy.
Just barely right at the very end of the bat. Fooled a little bit. Got him to cast. Deep fly ball to right, but good enough for out number 2.
And now you set your sights on Addison Russell. Look at the series he's had. 6 for 13. Homer. 3 doubles. 3 of them.
5 runs scored. It's what Joe's doing right now is getting the hottest hitters in this lineup all together, and you're seeing him consecutively here to start the ball game.
Hot smash. Prado spears it out there at second. Nicely done. Martin Prado picks it, and a scoreless first for the Cubs. will be leading off for Miami on this Sunday afternoon against the Cubs. The Rockford Peaches ready to go. Southwest brings you the lineup. Ichiro, Giancarlo Stanton, Justin Bour, Marcelo Zuna in the cleanup spot. JT Realmuto hitting 5th, having a nice homestand. Martin Prado back, his 3rd game since coming off the DL. Derek Dietrich slides over to 2nd. JT Riddle trying to pull out of a slump right now in the 8th spot. And Edinson Volquez hits 9th.
There is Mike Montgomery, left-handed pitcher, 6'5", 215, 27 years old. Who got the last out? That's right. Remember that big question last year? Mike Montgomery was the pitcher who recorded the final out of Game 7 of the World Series for the Chicago Cubs. I think everybody remembers Chris Bryant fielding the ball, but I'm not sure they remember who threw it. There you go. He's right out there on the mound today, Mike Montgomery. Jack of all trade. We've talked about Ian Happ and Chris Bryant moving around the field. This is what Mike Montgomery does for Joe Madden and this rotation. He's now in it. Last time the Marlins saw him, he was picking up a save against him, for crying out loud. He's got 2 saves this year already. And let's do it again. You're going to see a very similar arsenal to John Lester, who pitched just yesterday. He throws the cut fastball, the big curveball, and a 4-seam fastball along with it.
There will be a quiz in the 2nd inning.
Get that.
Ichiro with a 1-1 count. Little busted bat up the middle. Russell bobbles. Ichiro is in there. That could easily be an infield hit. Might be an E6. But Ichiro flying up the line. Russell had to hurry himself.
Well, and that's just it. Gets in on him, jams him. Addison Russell realizing this has to happen all in one motion. Unable to come up with the handle. That ball backed up on him.
It's going to be an E6. But the Marlins will take it. Leadoff man aboard. Now here comes Giancarlo Stanton with Justin Bour right behind. Montgomery with a fastball for a strike. Stanton is homered in the series. Montgomery's breaking ball is up. And it's a ball and a strike.
5 for 22 on the homestand. Does have a couple homers. 12 career homers against the Cubs. 9 of them come here, Marlins Park.
Goes after that breaking ball, fouls it back behind the plate, and it's out of play. That save that you talked about for Montgomery wasn't just your garden variety save. It wasn't a 4-out save. Wasn't a 6-out save, wasn't a 9-out save, it was a 10-out save. Held the Marlins to 3 hits in 3 1/3 scoreless at Wrigley Field. And he's hopped into the rotation. Kyle Hendricks with the finger injury. So the 4th start for the lefty. Stanton rips one, and La Stella is there to make the catch. No, that probably would have been extra bases.
Really good contact off the bat of Giancarlo Stanton right there. Estella, good instincts. Able to get to the backhand. Secure the catch.
Justin Bour now. Montgomery misses with his first pitch. Bour 1 for 6 in this series. Of course, the big guy came off the disabled list in Atlanta. He's had some big moments, including the grand slam against the Nationals since coming off. Stella thought he had 2 strikes there, and the count's 2-0.
Justin Bour, very good versus lefties this year. Shouldn't be surprised to see him in the 3-hole. 354, 6 homers, 15 RBIs against left-handers.
You see both those pitches right on the border, and that one is down low. Nice job by Todd on the demo den. Marlins Live going through a Justin Bour at bat. Oftentimes we demo home runs or grand slams, but this was a walk, and you made a walk sexy. Well, actually, Justin Bohr made it sexy.
Sure he did.
You were there to illustrate it.
So many of these Marlins have been putting together great at-bats over the last month. It's good to be able to even just show in a walk how the process works.
Bohr going after a 3-0 and fouls it straight back. One for his last 13. So a bit of a dip and a start against a lefty. And of course, that's part of Bohr's story and part of his charm this year is the fact that he has been able to master the lefties and do damage against them. Now the count's full 3-2. Don't know that Ichiro has a good enough read to be on the move here. He has yet to steal a base this year. Of course, he's over 500 in his career. He runs, and Bohr takes down low. And Miami is set up first and second with one out.
Let's take a look at the Cubs defense before we get too far along here. John Jay gets the start in left field, Ian Happ in center, Chris Bryant making the start in right field, Tommy La Stella third base, Addison Russell, Javi Baez, Anthony Rizzo, Miguel Montero back behind the plate, his second start in this series along with Mike Montgomery.
So Ichiro and Bohr, and now Ozuna at the plate. The breaking ball starts the at bat.
That's a good take though for Marcell Ozuna yesterday. Very aggressive early in the count. Didn't get a whole lot to hit. 0 for 4 yesterday. 6 for 22 on the homestand. Does have a couple home runs.
He was 1 for 2 against Montgomery. He went curveball, and quickly it's 0-2. Santa Clarita, California. And a first-round pick of the Kansas City Royals. Three consecutive curveballs, each one coming a little bit closer. First one missed out, next one was a strike, and the third one was headed right towards that back foot.
Well, I compared him to John Lester. Their arsenals are very similar. Four-seam fastball, cut fastball, the changeup, and the curveball. One thing that is different between Montgomery and Lester is that he will use that curveball more, where John Lester likes to use the cutter as his go-to pitch, as we witnessed yesterday.
Ozuna into center field, a base hit. Late break by Ichiro. Freddie will send him. Up with the ball is Happ. Throw is up the line, and it hits Ichiro. He scores. And Miami is up 1-0. And Marcell Ozuna comes through again.
Marcell Ozuna, 4 consecutive breaking balls. There's the first. Number 2, both out over the plate. Then he tried to bury one. Now 4 in a row. Odds are you're going to hang one. He hung a couple. Marcell picked on the 4th one. Missile to center field. And with the late break, Ichiro able to score. Remember, Ian Happ has not played a whole lot of center field this year. Only the 4th game out there. That throw had some tailing action to the third base side.
Real Muto now. Bohr at second. Ozuna at first. JT takes in. Realmuto's always been good against lefties. You could see 3 hits, including a 3-run homer in this series. He's at .313 against the lefties this year.
One of the few Marlins having an outstanding homestand. 6 for 18, .333. Marlins offense has slowed down a bit. It's the Nationals and now the Cubs. Get things going. A few guys getting a day off today.
Just underway. This is an Edinson Volquez start. Mike Montgomery is having a great year in a lot of different roles for the Cubs. snaps off another good curveball for a strike. His last start, he threw up zeros. It beat San Diego, 6 innings, just 3 hits.
Well, the numbers tell you the way to get him is get him early. First time through that lineup, 270 batting average against. That second time, 227. Now, he doesn't wander too much past that.
Tried to sneak a fastball by Real Muto. Stays alive, count 1-2. JT at 348 on base, slugging at 461. His OPS as of yesterday, second only to Buster Posey among National League catchers. His defense has come a long way. He's having a terrific year. And a swing and a miss.
Think Almora wants to bunt on him again after yesterday? Went back and looked at the StatCast plays, 44 feet. All right, you see a breaking ball here down in the zone. Changeup. In fact, JT expanded the strike zone.
Now you got Prado with 2 runners still out there. Martin 1 for 3 in yesterday's ball game. Prado rifles one in the gap, left center field. That's going to the wall. Bohr will score. Here comes Ozuna. He will score. Welcome back, Martin Prado. It's 3-0.
His biggest hit since his return. Defense has been there. Offense starting to come back. Great sign right here. 2-seam fastball. Good extension, ready to swing the bat. Backs it up. See how his weight stays on his backside, short, quick to the baseball, drives it off the left center field wall. Marlins in business, up 3-0.
Remember, nobody did more damage against lefties last year than Martin Prado. He had 424, best in baseball against him. Here's Dietrich. Miami can add another run here. Dietrich, a high chopper, charging his Baez. He'll have no play. Dietrich's got an infield hit. And the inning continues. And if Javi Baez can't make that play, I don't think anybody can.
Javi Baez, as athletic as they come. Do or die play to first. Dietrich down the line, quick. And even able to come up with a handle right there. Just eats it. Be careful of the bling right there.
I think I heard it jingle on the way down. Here's Riddle now. And Riddle takes a strike. JT 0 for 9 in this series. And he's 1 for his last 23. This is kind of a similar run that he had to start his major league career. He'll send it out to Baez. On over to first in time, but Miami strikes for 3. Marcell Ozuna and Martin Prado with the big hits. Offer all season long. On Mondays, flash offers unveiled. For details on tomorrow's special offer, visit marlins.com/flash offer. Marlin team shop, really cool stuff in there. All the All-Star Game caps, Major League Baseball stuff, Marlin stuff. A variety of caps, all with the All-Star Game logo. All-Star Game jerseys, batting practice jerseys are in there as well, including the very cool light blue ones.
I just feel like we're supposed to show D. Gordon when we do that promo.
Ha, he's got the day off.
I know, but it's the flash offer.
It is. Here's Montero. Edinson Volquez has himself a 3-run lead. Montero, La Stella, and then Javi Baez. Miami got 3 runs yesterday in the first, had a 3-1 lead, and didn't sniff a run after that. And 3-0 lead here. Good change up. Lifted into the seats. So the challenge here is to add on and obviously have Edinson Volquez get as deep as he can.
Well, and that is most definitely the challenge. It's the one kind of key matchup. It's not specific for Edinson Volquez against the Cubs other than their offensive approach. Now the Cubs are number 2 in baseball in base on balls, taking their walks. 287 of them. Edinson Volquez now leads Major League Baseball, unfortunately, in walks per 9 innings. 5.12 per 9 for obviously your qualifying starters. So that's a big number. And with the lead here, you certainly want to see him be aggressive with this Cubs lineup.
One, two. Breaking ball found spot just inside. And it's 2-2. And that was the amazing thing about the no-hitter. He did walk a couple, but they were both erased on double plays. He faced the minimum in that no-hitter.
Marlins win a couple nights ago. There were 3. So the walks have been there, not just Edinson Volquez, but for some of the other Marlins starters and even relievers, you know, avoiding some of the guys in the lineup, but setting themselves up to get double plays, but you got to get them.
Montero's always been a nice offensive player. And for Joe Madden, he's a left-handed option behind the plate. 358 on base. He's slugging .441. Davey Martinez, Sergeant in arms, next to the Cubs skipper. They were together, of course, for a long and very good run in St. Pete. Eight pitch at bat. Cubs are making Volquez work. Stella and Baez coming up as well. 3-2's down low, and there's Montero leading off for the walk here in the second.
Tommy La Stella getting the start at third base today. Hitless in his last 5 games, 0 for his last 10. So the walks for Edinson Volquez, 45 of them.
La Stella goes after the first pitch and a mile-high pop-up. Way up there. Bohr and Dietrich all searching the rafters for it.
Has the ball ever hit the rafters?
Hasn't yet, but it will. And
that was pretty close.
I've been saying it for 5+ years, having seen games in a variety of buildings with roofs just like this. Safeco Field in Seattle, Houston. Eventually a ball finds a girder up there, and a lot of times it's in foul territory because on the first base side, the lowest point of a girder is just in foul territory.
Joe Madden sliding Javi Baez down in the lineup a little bit today. A little lefty-righty. As hot as he's been in this series and as big a game as he had yesterday. 2 for 4, 3 RBIs, 5 for 12 in the series.
Baez is I don't want to say he's a rhythm hitter, but he looks like he's got rhythm in the box. He's always kind of moving in and out. He had every now and then will take one of those enormous swings that drops him to his back knee.
I've always believed this. Hitters show you their personality, even their personality away from the game of baseball in their swings. And if you know Javi Baez, I think you're going to agree with me. He is what his swing kind of tells you. Lots of personality, lots of athleticism, loves the game of baseball, very passionate person. But has learned how to tone it down when need be.
Right now, Edinson Volquez is going to have to tone it down a little bit because he overthrew there. He's walked 2. He does have the pitcher Montgomery coming up, but then you got John Jay behind him.
14 pitches this inning. No outs to be found yet. Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me, 1. Listella went after the first pitch. That pitch count climbing as we speak.
All right, this is a ticklish spot here for Miami defensively. You've got Montgomery up, and the likelihood he's going to try to bunt and move the runners. The one thing you want to get obviously is an out. The other thing you want to avoid is throwing the ball in the wrong spot. Bohr comes crashing in. Oof. The Marlins, I think, may have had a pickoff play on there. Derek Dietrich was breaking to first. And
you better tell Edinson Volquez.
Remember, there was a play about 3 weeks ago where the Marlins in this spot gave up a double steal where the runners broke and the runner from second stole third. And that was because it was a missed sign on a pickoff play.
Watch second base back.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody's working their way back to second base in order for that to even work. Both your second baseman and shortstop moving in opposite directions.
There's the bunt. Volquez has to wait and then get to Dietrich in time. So the Cubs accomplish what they set out to do. The Marlins get the out, and now Volquez sets his sights on John Jay. He's had a nice series as well.
Well, for Edinson Volquez, there's 2 outs in the inning, so 1 out away from getting himself out of this jam. Just to deal with John Jay. He's had a nice series as well. For 5 yesterday in the game. No homers, 12 RBIs in the season, as you see there.
Jay's been a nice addition, a guy that is versatile enough to play in different outfield spots. Will give you good at bats. He's hitting over 300. And certainly this is a guy that Volquez wants to go right after, because the leadoff hitter for the Cubs is a leadoff hitter in sheep's clothing, right? It's Anthony Rizzo. It's not like, hey,
well said.
Get up to the leadoff guy if you lose Jay.
You're right. He's going to start bunting on you, or slashing, or dragging the ball to the right side. Not going to happen. Leadoff hitter for the Cubs today is leading the team in RBIs.
Right, which makes this an important at bat. Second and third, and 2 outs. Cubs have just 1 hit, but a couple walks have opened the door here in the second.
Close pitch.
Here's a look. It's right at the knees.
94 miles an hour. I thought it was a good pitch. I thought it was in the zone.
3-1. That one just misses. Jay walks. And now Volquez has to face Rizzo with the bags loaded. And here comes Juan Nieves. 3 walks here in the inning. Well, you documented it. Highest in Major League Baseball in walks per 9 innings is Volquez. And he's got 3 here in the 2nd inning alone.
Well, making trouble for himself. Oops. Nary a hit this inning. Bases loaded. One of their best hitters with runners in scoring position at home plate. Leads the team 19 2-out RBIs.
And the 2-out RBIs have really hurt Miami of late. Volquez, Rizzo, bags loaded. Breaking ball misses, and of course Rizzo, great eye at the plate. High on base percentage, 393. He's not going to give you anything. That's a strike. Realmuto popping up, looking at Baez out at 2nd. Here's a look, and he got a break there, so didn't get the one at the knees. That one he gets. In the air. Ichiro is there. He makes the catch. Apologize for the language, but not for the out for Edinson Volquez.
Telecast is presented by the authority of the Miami Marlins. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and the descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Miami Marlins.
And there's the legal portion of the telecast. 3-0 Miami. Volquez arrives at the plate, and Montero chatted up. Ichiro and Giancarlo Stanton also coming up in the 2nd in Miami. Marlins are 7 under, 33-40. Cubs 38-36. They are 2 over. And Volquez takes out from Mike Montgomery. The Marlins have an off day tomorrow. Then the Mets are here for 3. Cubs are on their way to D.C. for a 4-gamer with the Nationals. Volquez doing his best to sell that as an inside pitch. But it was a strike. That was quick. Montgomery finishes off Volquez. And here comes Etro. Etro, a little broken bat. Bloop out in front of short. Addison Russell, with a lot of spin on the ball, charged it. With Etro dashing down the line, Russell mishandled the ball for an error. He would score. Etro would on a Marcell Ozuna base hit. Martin Prado had a 2-out, 2-run double as well against this lefty. That was in the first. Pulls it down the first base line. 1-2.
Well, Montgomery in the early going seemed more inclined to throw his secondary pitches for strikes than his fastballs, both his four-seamer and his cutter. Hasn't used them too terribly much. Actually thrown more strikes with his secondary pitches than those fastballs.
Little check swing, and Montgomery gloves it, flips it. Of course, in Chicago, this is what a 10-out save looks like. Due to time constraints, we're unable to bring you all 10 outs. But it was 51 pitches. It was impressive.
I'll give you a good look at what his put-away pitch was that day. A little bit different so far today. He was using that cutter slider of his. Hard, late darting action to get those strikeouts down in the zone. Haven't seen that too much today. He's really been more inclined to go with the curveball.
Stanton lined out on a curveball back in the first inning. Fastball up in. Stanton, of course, against lefties, does not wear the face plate on the helmet. It's not been announced, it's not official, but it sounds like Giancarlo Stanton will be in the home run derby. Slaps the bat in frustration there. Count 2 balls, 2 strikes.
The hitter will tell you every pitch matters. Expanded the strike zone changes the count. 2-2, so different than 3-1.
Comes in. It almost looked like a cut fastball.
That's what he throws. Just doesn't throw as many as John Lester. John Lester got into rhythm yesterday when he was busy recording those 13 consecutive outs after that rough first inning. That's the pitch he went to the most, that cut fastball.
3-2. He went with a straight fastball and misses, and Stanton a 2-out walk, and that gets Bourne at bat here in the second inning.
Justin Bourne, real nice at bat. His first time. Draw the walk. Let off a couple borderline pitches. He continues to show that solid plate discipline.
Bourne rolls it slowly towards Baez. Picks it and gets it on to first. Miami leaves a runner. 2 innings in, 3-0 Miami.
move along, one of the fun things about this job is we get to talk to former Marlins like Chuck Smith here throughout the first pitch. Chuck, you had a long road. It was a 10-year minor league road, but when you came up with all your excitement, you had an outstanding rookie year in 2000. You actually were 6th in rookie voting. What a moment for you to come in the major leagues.
Man, it was a great landing for my journey to land here with the guys in the clubhouses, you know, taking me in and, you know, me throwing strikes, you know, when the team needed it. So just a great group of guys that allowed me to, you know, have the comfort of going out there and performing in such a big arena.
And that team really helped the Marlins turn the corner from the post-97 championship to the 2003. And though you were here for 2 years in the majors, you had to feel a piece of you was part of that 03 team because a lot of your teammates were on that team.
Yeah, sure did. You know, I cheered them the whole way. You know, unfortunately, I couldn't be here. I went through arm problems and everything else. But I was there in spirit with those guys. You know, I was fortunate enough to have those 2 years, you know, trying to get a rhythm in terms of how to play the game on an everyday basis to win, you know, big games against the Braves and other guys in the division. It was just such a journey. I enjoyed every bit of it.
And a walk here for the leadoff hitter, not the way Volquez wanted to start out. Now you're the mayor of your town outside of Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah, the great village of Woodmere. I'm honored to serve the people there and you know, to take them from one journey to another. And it's similar to baseball, you know, the manager leading us, you know, similar to my, you know, situation.
Are you in town with other mayors?
Yeah, actually the mayor's conference is here in Miami this year. Going over a lot of things in terms of what's going on in the United States of America, climate change and everything else. Just trying to get some ideas from the other mayors of bigger cities to try to bring home some policies so we can put in place to give us a better chance of continuing our success.
Good to see you. Hey, show that left arm. I think that's a neat, this arm right. Well, this one too. I just want to see that logo. We know that. How about that Miami Marlins alumni? And you're a proud member of that. Congratulations on your journey, not only in the major leagues, but serving the public now too.
Definitely too. Go Marlins.
Mayor Chuck Smith. Back to you, Rich.
Good guy. And a nice story. And now a mayor. Chuck Smith out of Indiana State University. Went to high school up in New York.
He's a mayor outside of Cleveland.
And went to junior college in Arizona. He's been all over.
It's Forrest Gump. Getting it done everywhere he goes.
1-1 pitch to Ian Happ. And it's out. And control, obviously an issue right now for Volquez. He was able to survive 3 walks when Anthony Rizzo hit a fly ball out to end the second. But he opens the third by walking Chris Bryant. Happ, Russell, Montero now follow for the Cubs. And Happ has been scorching hot. 8 hits already in this series. Chases. And that's a big strike to get.
For instance, Volquez, a lot of times the two-seam fastball, he calls it a sinker, has more of a tailing action, as you see right there, running action off the outside corner. Not a whole lot of depth. Certainly makes the strike zone more horizontal.
Two. And count stays 2 balls, 2 strikes. Sunday in baseball traditionally is a lot of day games, and we'll keep you updated as we go. Nationals losing to the Reds early, 5-0 in the first inning. It's after the Nationals scored what, 18 runs yesterday? Michael Taylor, couple home runs.
See Trey Turner 5 for 5 in that game. So Ian Happ, 4 games, 4 starts, 4 different positions this series. Martin Prado was able to do that at one time in his career. In fact, back in 2012, the Atlanta Braves started at second, third, short, and left field.
That's one of the beauties of Prado, was a utility guy coming through. Made the all-star team in that role.
Remember the 4-homer game from Scooter Gennett? He actually did it in that series as well. Started at second, third, left field, and right field. You're just seeing more and more players and that versatility. Managers looking for that ability to get the matchups you want in your lineup. You've got players who can move around the field.
Scooter Gennett, a Florida guy, and by the way, is 1-for-1 with an RBI in that 5-0 Reds lead in DC. 2-2 coming to Happ. Got him. Boy, these are tough at bats for Volquez. The Cubs hitters are chewing up the pitch count, but he perseveres and strikes out Happ.
The first strikeout of the day, the changeup. At the knees, then down below the knees. Maybe the best circle change he's thrown today. Ian Happ, as hot as he's been, you see his body out over that front leg, fooled by the lack of velocity. Unable to foul it off. Big out right there for Edinson Volquez.
Russell takes a strike. Addison Russell, Pensacola. We had that the other day, the discussion of the immense amount of Florida talent on this Cubs roster. Russell pulls it foul. Count 0-2.
Really good example of the effectiveness of that changeup. The willingness of hitters to chase it when it's out over the plate. It's on the corners. It's got a lot of depth and a lot of downward action. These Cub hitters have been able to lay off it a little bit more. Last few he's thrown more out towards the middle of the plate.
Oh, 2. Russell out front. Let's see if it stays in play. Riddle and Prado makes the catch. Nicely done.
Position wins out over height. Martin Prado gets to the spot first. JT Riddle just behind him, a little bit taller. Martin comes up with a catch. Get out of the way.
Looked like a quarterback with a blitz coming,
right,
trying to unload it to a hot read.
It happens a couple times. It happened in my career. You run into your teammate like that, and you're like your enemies for about 2 seconds. Like, get out of the way, and you're like, move it. But then you're like, oh, it's all good. We caught the ball, and you go back to being friends.
Montero walked back in the second. 4 walks by Volquez, and just 1 strikeout.
Yeah. 4 have not caused him any pain yet. Certainly not a path he wants to stay on.
Yeah, the damage so far is to the pitch count. You see at 52. Montero, center field. Ichiro under it, makes a catch. And Volquez dodges another walk. Baseball break, the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League. Yes, look who founded it. Philip K. Wrigley. 15 teams throughout the Midwest. 45 to 85 bucks a week. They were required to attend charm school. And the Rockford Peaches, they were the Yankees, so to speak, of that league. They won it 4 times. 25th anniversary of that great movie, League of Their Own. And that being celebrated today here in the ballpark. Lori Petty, star of that movie, threw out the first pitch and did a nice job doing it. Ozuna fouls one back. Big hit for Ozuna. Came in the first. He saw 4 breaking balls for Mike Montgomery. And the 4th one, he lined into center for a hit. Joe Madden today was talking about how impressed he is with Ozuna, where he is as a player and as the improvements he's made as a hitter. And he might just be managing Marcell Ozuna on July 11th in the All-Star game. That's good pitch. Montgomery gets it and strikes out Ozuna.
Right back to the big breaking ball. Remember, that's what set up the eventual hit for Marcell Ozuna the first time. Went there to the top of the zone and back down. Marcell Ozuna didn't see it till now. So Montgomery convinced that he can get that curveball by him. Proves it right there.
Realmuto takes a couple balls. JT struck out back in the first. Martin Prado on deck. Every now and then something pops up on the wire that you want to mix into the show, including this note. It just cleared about 10 minutes ago. Ichiro is now the oldest in baseball history to start a game in center field. Who knew? And I think he beat it. He did. Realmuto with an infield hit. La Stella. That's another thing about Realmuto that surprises a lot of people that haven't seen him play, is his speed down the line.
Tremendous athlete, gets out of the box quick. He said he most definitely beat it. Tough play for La Stella. Slow chopper to the left side, has to charge and then throw across his body back to Anthony Rizzo. Wasn't able to get much on that throw, as you see it short hop into Anthony's glove. JT on with an infield hit.
If you're wondering where Chris Bryant is, he's out in right field. He, like Happ, has been playing all over the place in this series. Prado takes a strike and it's 0-1. Prado drilled a double to the wall in left center to knock in 2 with 2 outs in the first.
2 two-out RBIs. Significant, because Mike Montgomery does not give up many extra base hits. Not only the 7th extra base hit that he's given up this season.
So we know Ichiro is old. He's 43. 246 days on top into his 44th year. But he's the oldest to start a game in center field in baseball history. The record was held by Rickey Henderson back in 2002. 1-2. Good day for an off day for Prado, playing in his 3rd straight game since coming off of the disabled list. Nice play on the rail. Real Muto at first. And a 3-0 Miami lead.
Long road trip right around the corner after this lengthy homestand. So you're right. Day off, perfectly placed here on the homestand. Lets Martin tomorrow recover a little bit, kind of get him back.
We've seen him doing a variety of things to keep the leg loose. Remember, he was rolling on top of the baseball a couple games ago. Now he's got the roller that goes both up and back. Gets the quad, gets the hamstring. Sort of a car wash of a roller there. That one is going to bounce all the way into the Marlins dugout. Real Muto was on his way to second. And he'll hold at second. It's a wild pitch.
Mike Montgomery's circle change right there comes out high off the top of the fingers, and he pulls it down way out in front of home plate. Remember, Mike Montgomery is 6'5".
Prado to the left side. Russell on to first to get him. 2 outs. Here comes Derek Dietrich. Marlins and Mets on Tuesday, and of course this year Tuesdays are half price. You can save up to 50% off tickets. Go to marlins.com. The half price Tuesday offer. Mets Marlins Tuesday night. That is a Dan Straley, Robert Gazelman matchup. Marlins will also see Steven Matz and Seth Lugo. Runner goes, and Dietrich gets hit. So Real Muto has to go back. Dietrich's on his way down to first.
Two-seam fastball running in on Derek Dietrich. Catches him front arm as he turns away from it.
So he's down at first, and here's Riddle. JT has bounced out. Dietrich adds another one to his team record, franchise record. Riddle will try to squeeze something out of this inning. 2 outs and 2 on. What do you see from Riddle right now at the plate?
Well, for JT, searching for it, trying to track the baseball. I think what it's causing him to do right now is allow the ball to get a little too deep. Point of contact not out in front enough. See a lot of ground balls to the right side. His timing is off just a bit. So he's not hitting the ball in the lane or the spot where he was a couple weeks ago. Saw a lot of doubles to left center field, saw power to center and right center.
In the air to left, John Jay is there, and he makes the catch. Miami leaves 2, and after 3, it's 3-0. South Florida Honda dealers, get you ready on a Tuesday night. It's a email and Twitter Tuesday. Hashtag it baseball fantasy. Craig Minervini, Preston Wilson, get you ready for the Fox Sports Florida Fantasy Auction. Ah, there it is. That's from last year. Ford girls will be back. Ford big board, Grant Thornton mini board, and all the very cool experiences and packages and fun. It's a great night of charity and of baseball. It's Marlins and Mets on the Wednesday night. And Tuesday night, we'll get you ready for it on Marlins Live. Tommy La Stella up. La Stella takes out Javi Baez. And then the pitcher, Mike Montgomery, in the fourth. And Volquez tries to get through the inning without a walk. La Stella bangs one into center field for a hit. Just the second hit against Volquez, but he's walked 4. So the Cubs have had plenty of traffic on the bases.
With the 2 singles so far, those walks could be an issue later. We'll see.
Marlins and Mets start on Tuesday. And then after that 3-game series, Miami's headed out to Milwaukee. Baez, swing and a miss. The Brewers just claimed Stephen Vogt. That's a perfect place for him. He's a prototypical Brewers looking guy, isn't he? Guy that can give you some pop.
Yep, very good hitter. Take advantage of his home ballpark.
That one foul back.
Versatility seems to matter a little bit more in the National League than it does in the American League. And when you're a player in Vogt's position, thrilled to take full advantage of being picked up by a National League ball club. Probably lead to some pinch hit at bats and some more opportunity.
All-star in 2015 and 2016, a fan favorite in Oakland. Bruce Maxwell, the young catcher for Oakland, going to be starting from here on out, it seems. Baez stays alive. And I mentioned the Brewers because it not only involves the Marlins, that's their opponent come next Friday, but the Brewers are leading the Cubs in the Central by half a game. Chicago a half game back, Pittsburgh's 4 back, Cardinals 5, Reds are 8. Liner into left, and it's in for a hit. So base hits by La Stella and Baez, and Shirley Montgomery will be up there to bunt again.
Baez shown the ability to go out on his front foot, able to hook some balls down into the left field corner. Gets a changeup here, doesn't hook it into the corner, but stays through it. Able to pick up the base hit. As hot as he's been right now. It's not bouncing. Baez has a chance to do damage.
Prado's at third, Bohr creeping in at first. Volquez misses. Montgomery a good bunt in the second. Volquez was able to pitch around that. That came with 1 out, so that was the second out of the inning. But here, there's nobody out.
For the Marlins, you'd like to force this issue a little bit. Maybe get Montgomery to bunt it a little hard, or push it in the wrong direction. Here's why. First time up, there was an out. Led to the second out, which was the sacrifice. You still felt like there was an escape hatch in the inning. In this situation, you've got nobody out. Runners on first and second. He does the job. It's your ideal run scoring situation. So if they can force his hand, maybe get a hard bunt off the bat or get him to chase something, certainly would benefit the Marlins here. So you might see them be a little bit more aggressive.
One. Popped up, out of play. 1-2. Corners still tight for a bunt. Got it. Really nice breaking ball.
Good spot to drop in the knuckle curve. You mentioned in the ball game, maybe we'd see a few more of these today. That changeup, as good as it's been, necessarily the ideal pitch in this situation. You want Montgomery to pull back. You want him to pop it up. Either of the two will work right there. Completely fooled by the knuckle curve.
Now John Jay. Swing and a miss. Jay has knocked in 12 runs. He's not homered this year. In fact, he's got a 309 at bat run without a home run. Oh, 1 is down low. Pete Kozma used to have the longest run without a homer, but he's homered this year. Kozma, the light hitting infielder, homered at Detroit on May 21st. So Jay now is second in baseball. Little ground ball, finds left field. Holding third is LaStella. And the bags are loaded again for Rizzo.
John Jay gets a fastball, stays inside of it, probably sitting back because of the changeup. Stop sign right there stops LaStella at third base. Sets up Anthony Rizzo with the bases loaded once again. Second straight plate appearance with the bases loaded. Flew out to center field the first time. Frustrated.
Infield playing Rizzo to pull. A double play here is a bit complicated, and that's because Riddle is on the first base side of the bag, and if he takes one step to his left on a ground ball between he and Dietrich, there's no way to turn to. Dietrich between Bohr and Riddle on that right side. Rizzo swinging from his heels that first pitch. He sends a fly ball out into left center field. Ozuna after it there, makes the catch. Tagging and scoring is LaStella. Holding second is Baez, and the Cubs are on the board.
Really nice job by Marcell Ozuna right there, racing across left center field gap, the catch and spinning and throwing. Well done.
Now this has been a tough at bat for Volquez. Bryant singled in the first, walked in the third. He's been ultra patient this series. 5 walks. This is game number 4. There's strike 1.
Better usage of that curveball here this inning. Able to pick up some key strikes.
Change up. Of course, Rizzo more established in his 6th year with the Cubs. This is year 3 for Bryant. But remember, Bryant went to college, University of San Diego. He's 25, Rizzo's 27. He's not biting on that righty-on-righty changeup.
Chris Bryant sits in that crouch. Good eyes down at the low zone. Changeup is starting out at the knees and working its way down, but Chris has a good grasp of the strike zone, the bottom half of the strike zone. Bryant, you want to get out up if you can. Chris Bryant, very good low ball hitter.
Volquez gets a visit.
I think that's a good visit right there. Edinson actually asked for it. That's 3 consecutive pitches low in the zone. Chris Bryant, you give him too many looks down there, is going to do damage in the low zone eventually if you continue to show him that. You have to pitch Bryant more vertically in the strike zone.
2-1. And Volquez back to 2-2. There aren't many easy at-bats in this Cubs lineup. There's a lot of grinders, and Bryant is a grinder who can really punish you.
Now, especially when your 3, 4, and 5 combination of young hitters is really starting to scald the ball. As we had mentioned, Russell, Happ, Baez came into this game today hitting over 500 combined in the series.
2-2. Well, one thing is for certain. This is going to be a bullpen game for Don Mattingly. Probably 6th, 7th inning at 73 pitches right now. Not just the pitch count, but the number of stressful innings.
Yep. Most of the 73 pitches today have come under duress.
He missed. It's 3-2. Ian Happ is on deck.
Back to the curveball right there. Maybe he would try to elevate a fastball after beating Bryant on the 2-2 pitch. Bryant barely fouled off that 94-mile-an-hour fastball to the right side. The message, he's sitting on that changeup.
Let's see where he goes. Runners on the move. Baez from second, Jay from first. There they go. Got him! Volquez strikes out Bryant. Cubs get a run, but that's it. And Miami still on top. It is 3-1. Edinson Volquez coming off the mound, feeling pretty good about the strikeout, sat down and realized, oh yeah, I'm up. Helmet, glove, bat. No real warm-up swings. He's still putting his gloves on.
Yeah, these are the at-bats you usually get a hit.
Yes, exactly.
You say to yourself, why? Why do I take 50 warm-up swings? Why do I get on deck? Why do I even bother? You just step right in and get a hit.
And Volquez takes ball one. Cubs have made some lineup changes here. Obviously, Montgomery is cruising and doing fine. Joe Madden having to shuffle things. And a strike. There's no word on any injury, but Addison Russell is out. Wilson Contreras comes into right. It pushes Bryant to center and pushes Happ from center to second. So there's just one new Cub in the lineup, and that's Contreras. But there are 4 new Cubs in terms of position. Baez going from second over to short. And if we get any word on Addison Russell and any type of injury, we'll let you know.
How about this outfield for the Cubs? Chris Bryant in center. Your starting catchers in right. John Jay over in left.
Ichiro up. And he takes a strike. There you go. Oldest starting center fielder since 1900. Not that someone did it in 1900, but that's when they started keeping the records. Ricky Henderson had the record, and that was back when he made a start, his last start in center in 2002.
If you and I weren't in the ballpark today and I read that somewhere, I'd find that intriguing and very interesting. But knowing Ichiro and watching him prepare, it's almost as if it's not even that big a deal.
No,
it really isn't. I mean, you watched, he's still very capable of doing this. He's not overmatched. It's not like you're trying to hide your starting catcher in right field like the Cubs are doing right now.
That would be Wilson Contreras.
Oh, he can do it too. Wilson's not a bad outfielder. He'll catch what's near him.
Ichiro dribbles it out. Baez gets an early test and makes the play. Big 3 basketball this summer. Allen Iverson, Chauncey Billups. He may be a general manager here before too long as well. Kenyon Martin, Jermaine O'Neal, all these legends of the hardwood are on a 10-city 3-on-3 basketball battle. Ice Cube presents Big 3 basketball. It's 3-on-3 hoops. It starts tomorrow night, 8 o'clock on FS1. Including the 4-point shot. They've got little spots, little circles outside the 3-point arc. If you're on it and you shoot it and you make it, it's a 4.
Curious to see the level of intensity.
Well, it's not like it's practice.
Well, but it's somewhere in between, right?
Last pitch was out, but called a strike. Stanton takes a ball. The count here 1-2.
I mean, I think for the idea to really go, there has to be a pretty good level of intensity, doesn't there? This isn't just pick-up basketball.
No, there's money on the line.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, so that equals intensity.
Right.
Stanton takes in.
Intensity equals dollars. There you go.
Usually it's the other way around. That one caught by Happ. And the Marlins go down in order. On to the 5th. In Miami on this Sunday afternoon. The Fish up 3-1. Cubs, 5th inning arrives as the Fish and the Cubs finish off a 4-game series. Cubs have 2 of the games. Miami has 1. Fish looking for a series split against a team that's really swinging it well right now. Ian Happ embodies that, and he takes a strike. If the Cubs get a full season of Ian Happ, anything like they're getting right now, they'll have quite a year. Happ now at second base. Remember, he was moved when Joe Madden took Addison Russell out of the game. And we are told right shoulder discomfort. Swing and a miss. Happ. All of a sudden, Volquez, who walked 4 hitters before he had a strikeout, has 3 strikeouts.
All about finding that rhythm. Definitely found it here the last inning or so.
Geico this date, Major League history. Sammy Sosa, 20th homer of the month, to break Rudy York's 1937 record for homers in a month. That was in '98. Cubs lost to the Tigers. Sammy Sosa, one of the Cubs stars who doesn't seem to have a place in the game much anymore.
Teammates with Sammy in '04.
I would expect, and you worked for the Cubs telecasts, played there as well. My guess is it's a pretty complicated thing.
It is. Both sides have shown a willingness at times to repair the relationship. It's never come to fruition because I think the expectations of the other, even though there's been the willingness, have taken it to, have climbed past what the other side wanted to do originally. And I guess maybe, I hope that makes sense. Cubs have reached out, Sammy's reached out, conversations have started, then expectations as far as repairing that relationship start, and it never really gets itself going far enough along. I would imagine at some point, I would like to believe, such a storied history that he has had with that organization.
Contreras, who was getting the day off, ends up walking his first at bat. What a roller coaster for Volquez. He's up 3-1, but he walked 4, hadn't struck anybody out. Then he strikes out 4 without walking anybody. And now his 5th walk is at first base. Montero and then La Stella coming up for Chicago. This is kind of similar to that weird game, that record-setting game that he had against the Rays, where he walked 8 and struck out 9 in just 4 1/3 innings.
I have a hard time expecting from Volquez when he is like this moments of really good, consistent with the arm slot, consistent action on the pitches, and then it seems to get away from him at times so quickly. Like right now. These aren't borderline pitches, Rich. These are easy takes for a hitter. I mean, a ball that's 94 miles an hour bounce out in front of home plate. You're not thinking about swinging at that pitch. Again, we talk efficiency. It's not a. You also have to include words like usefulness and purpose behind it, because some of these pitches don't serve that. What are you setting up right there? I mean, 2-seam fastball at 94 out way out in front of home plate. Now it's a 2-0 count.
And you can see the ball strike ratio is not great, and the pitch total is high, and this is only the 5th inning. And it's a bullpen that has been worked a lot.
He's found the escape hatch enough times today.
Contreras, huge jump. Real Muto's throw kicks into center field. Nice job by Dietrich to back it up. and a stolen base, and that stolen base is on Volquez. Second stolen base this season.
JT Realmuto makes up time with a good quick release. JT Riddle comes up with this. He's out. Contreras running on the pitch. What I mean is the sequence. He was expecting a changeup right there. JT, nice job getting it down there. Unfortunately for Riddle, unable to hold on to the throw.
Changeup. Montero out in front. It's a good follow-up. It's 2-2. That's going to find left field for a hit. Contreras did not have a good break. And the Cubs are set up at the corners now with one out.
Contreras has to freeze. This ball wasn't scalded to left field. It's a changeup. A piece of hitting by Montero, staying on it and going the other way. Contreras had to make sure that that ball was not caught. Able to get himself to third base. Double play still in order. Bench coach Tim Wallach on the phone.
And Juan Nieves on his way out to the mound. Boy, the Marlins have just had a cluster of short starts that have really taxed the bullpen. Justin Nicolino, 4 innings on yesterday's ball game. Thursday, the first game of the series, Jeff Locke, 4 innings. Go back to the National Series. Volquez himself, 4 2/3 innings on the Tuesday start. Justin Nicolino again, a 3-inning start. All of that adds up on wear and tear on bullpen arms and, quite honestly, on bullpen effectiveness. It's not, I think sometimes fans, when they ask, well, why is the manager bringing this guy in? Why is he bringing that? Why isn't he? There's a highly detailed chart that each manager keeps in terms of usage. How many days and how many pitches, how many times is a reliever warmed up?
Just about everybody's on that list today.
Yes. Except you and me, which is a good thing.
Yes. Vincent Volquez, 88 pitches.
Center field, well hit. Ichiro going back. Ichiro has it, makes the catch. Tagging and scoring is Contreras. There's the importance of the stolen base and not holding the runner. Three-2 now.
Javi Baez, 2-out base hit last time up. Excuse me, 2-strike base hit. Walk earlier.
Baez pops it up. Bohr calling and Bohr catching. Halfway through and a long way from done. The Cubs have inched closer. It's 3-2. the Jeep Spring Clearance events. By your local Toyota dealers. Let's go places. By your South Florida Chevy dealers. 1948, A League of Their Own. It's the 25th anniversary of the great movie. The Rockford Peaches were the bomb back then. They were the best team in that league. Rich Waltz, along with Todd Hollinsworth. All right, it's the week of the fantasy auction, and each day on the telecast we're adding something to the last pledge pack, which I purchased and will donate back. And we've added some really cool stuff. The Paul Goldschmidt and the Mike Trout balls yesterday. The Stance socks. We just received this from a fan. Well, it's not any fan. It's Anthony Rizzo's father. This is a World Series baseball with Anthony Rizzo's signature on it. Look at that. It's got the World Series emblem on it and an Anthony Rizzo signature. So that's going in. How cool is that?
Doesn't get any better than that.
Our thanks to John Rizzo, Anthony's father. Also, how about an Anthony Rizzo bobblehead? Got that going on. That's very cool. Swing and a miss there. And an autographed Anthony Rizzo photo.
Parkland's own. Representing well.
All that's going in the Super Duper Pledge Pack. And all of that is thanks to Anthony and thanks to John, his father.
Yeah, his family's.
Who watches the shows, follows the auction, and sent that up.
Really, really nice family. They get it. They're so gracious and so giving of their time and their effort. I got to know him obviously a little bit in Chicago, and Anthony himself does a great job of it too.
Ozuna pulls it hard, and La Stella throws him out. And Mike Montgomery seems to have new life here after giving up 3 in the first. Cubs are within a run. And we'll see the Rizzo family. Hopefully we'll be able to reciprocate. He's got that big charity run in Parklands in the offseason. Great stuff.
We'll have to run in it.
That's right. That would be.
That's right.
Little dash through the hood. Real Muto takes a strike. JT, an infield hit and a strikeout. Montgomery just throwing strikes and cruising right now. That infield hit by Real Muto, the only hit for Miami since that first when the Marlins got their first 3 runs.
Well, similar feel to yesterday's ball game, doesn't it? 3 in the first. Offense hard to come by for the Marlins right now. Cubs chipping away at the deficit.
Swing and a miss, and Montgomery mows down Miami. He's retired 7 straight. And a tight ball game here on a Sunday. It's 3-2 Fish. And Marlins. Tickets, marlins.com/tickets. Always fun when the Mets are in town. Lively crowd. Fantasy auction is on Wednesday. It's a great look at downtown Miami on this sunny Sunday. And the lefty, Harlan Garcia, takes over for Miami. So this odd start by Edinson Volquez with lots of walks, then a run of strikeouts, ends after 90 pitches, 5 innings, 5 hits. You got the 2 runs, the 5 walks, and the question is, can the bullpen withstand this Cubs lineup and handle this workload after being taxed already on this homestand? We will find out. Mike Montgomery is the last man standing as far as starting pitchers. He's in the box. He takes outside.
Three consecutive lefties for Garcia.
John Jay, Anthony Rizzo follow.
Edinson Volquez, that is his 7th start, 5 innings or less this season. In his last 3. Numbers against the lefties for Harlan Garcia, as you see right there. Spot to get him in the ball game.
.96 on the fastball. Well, look, Don Mattingly gets an inning out of Garcia to start this relay race of relievers. And it's a scoreless inning. He'll feel pretty good. That's the first step. That's the first out. He strikes out Montgomery.
Breaking ball right here, works its way down into the zone. Well done. See Montgomery out on the front foot. See that yellow stream as it streaks through the strike zone? That's what you want to see. Garcia wants to see as the ball is entering and leaving the strike zone.
Now you got John Jay, and he's been a handful for Miami in this series. Today he's walked and singled. Liner left field. Ozuna there. And Garcia has 2 outs.
Great defensive alignment by the Marlins by Ozuna right there. Nice running catch. Anticipating the left field action off the bat of John Jay with Garcia on the mound. I'll bring up Anthony Rizzo 0 for 2 today. 1 for 9 in the series. Frustrating at bats. Runners on base. Bases loaded last 2 times up. Come up with a sacrifice fly to left center field. Good swing there. 48th RBI on the season.
Rizzo takes out, and it's 2-0. Joe Madden has got Ben Zobrist about to come off the disabled list. Not sure if he's going to get him back in DC, but he has said when Zobrist comes back, Zobrist is going to hit in the middle of the order, and Rizzo's going to stay in that leadoff spot. Likes that dynamic of having him not only lead off, but as the game goes along, all of a sudden he pops up behind the number 9 hitter, which usually is not the pitcher.
Theory is your best hitters get the most at bats from the top spot on down, 1 and 2. Playing a lot of close ball games this year, struggling in other spots in the lineup. Well, give the most at bats to Anthony Rizzo and Chris Bryant. Makes sense to Joe Madden.
Big rip. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Garcia would like to get Rizzo and not bring Bryant to the plate. Choked up swing. Count stays 2-2. When did Rizzo start choking up with 2 strikes?
It's been a few seasons. He's been doing it for a little while now. This is pretty exaggerated. This is as far up the bat as I've ever seen him.
And he's going for that opening with the shift, and he does it beautifully. And it's a lot easier to do that when you're choked up on the bat. Rizzo pokes it into left field for a hit.
Simply put, the shorter the bat, the more bat control you have. Slider away. He's using about a 27, 28-inch bat right there, choking up a good 4 to 6 inches. But by doing that, eliminates the lower half, gets it down. Got the huge hole to the left side. Slider away, just almost like a backhand in tennis, Rich. You know what I'm talking about. Just kind of flicks it to left field.
That's right. Now, as a result, Garcia has to face Chris Bryant. Bouncer in the hole, it's short. Riddle, backhand, nifty play. Dietrich keeps the bag, and Garcia has a scoreless inning with help from a rookie shortstop. JT Riddle finishes the Cubs. Here, and immediately following Marlins Live post game this afternoon, the premiere of Inside the Marlins, One Heartbeat, the story of the '97 World Series champions, brought South Florida its first professional sports championship in over 2 decades. Fox Sports Florida traveled far and wide. Lots of great interviews, exclusive stuff, behind the scenes stories. It's a 30-minute special documentary. Don't miss it. It's after Marlins Live post game today. Run to your closet, get out the teal, throw it on, and enjoy the show. Martin Prado, Mike Montgomery still out there, still throwing. A 1-run game. Prado a 2-run double back in the first. That's when Miami did their most damage, their only damage really, against Montgomery. Fouls that one back. It's 2-1. Cubs bullpen's been quiet. Miami's bullpen has been a beehive lately.
He Phelps up for the Marlins in the bullpen. That big breaking ball from Montgomery. You watched him use it time and time again today.
Don't often see Prado like that, falling back on the back foot. Montgomery's pitch count at 86. Prado to center. Remember, that's Bryant out there now, and he makes the catch. We check in with Craig Minervini. Craig?
All right, Rich, it is League of Their Own Day, so we wanted to honor Mike Montgomery's mom, an outstanding athlete, a Division II basketball champion back in the early 80s, played over at Cal Poly Pomona, and she holds the school record for assists and also in games played, and she was also an outstanding softball player there. So after the season a couple of years back, Mike needed a throwing partner, told his mom to grab a glove, and the way Montgomery puts it, he said, I threw changeups, I threw hard, and she said, is that all you got? He said, how many guys can throw a ball to their mother? And she says, throw it harder. Good hands. And his dad also coached him in the high school ranks, although he had a big temper back in those days. What a catch there, huh?
Ian Happ with a leaping catch. And that's the second out of the 6th inning, robbing Derek Dietrich of a hit.
Well, anticipating the pull. Dietrich right there, able to get the hands through it. Hits the ball hard, Happ high, secure the catch.
Chris Bosio, sturdy pitching coach of the Cubs. Bosio out for a visit with Montgomery. Cubs bullpen is just starting. Pedro Strop is up first.
He has yet to pitch in this series. Cubs bullpen well rested coming into today's finale, 4th game of the series.
Tyler Moore is on deck. Marlins would love to get him in at bat against the lefty. Riddle is going to have to get on, and that's been tough for him lately. He's 1 for his last 25.
That meeting looked awfully familiar to the this is your last hitter no matter what for Mike Montgomery. Strop up in the Cubs bullpen, lefty-lefty matchup.
Long way for Rizzo to go. Sweeps it over Montgomery. They arrive in tandem, and Montgomery's foot hits the bag first, and Riddle is retired. Well, if that's it, what a way to finish. 10 straight retired for Montgomery. Let's see. Foot down. Foot down. Cubs get that out. Marlins bullpen is going to have to keep it on. It's a 3-2 game into the 7th.
and seeing all the great players, names on the lockers, and seeing your name on that locker. Nothing gave me a better feel. Young man from Fort Pierce, Florida, his name amongst the greatest, you know, all-stars, and I was part of it. I would say that was probably my greatest moment, going to all-star games.
That Marlin moment, driven by your South Florida Honda dealer, Charles Johnson. Two-time All-Star, four-time Gold Glover. Miami making a double switch here. D. Gordon is in. Gordon takes over at second base. And he will lead off in the bottom of the seventh. That's the one change. David Phelps on the mound is the other. Phelps takes over for Harlan Garcia after a 5-inning start by Edinson Volquez. And that Marlin bullpen is being asked to get a lot of outs, a dozen of them, and hang on to the lead at the same time. A 1-run lead they were handed. Garcia a scoreless 6th. Happ faces Phelps.
Well, in this series for the Marlins, things that have worked twofold. Starting pitching hasn't been able to give enough length. Vulnerability for the bullpen. On top of that, Marlins offense has been there early, but not late. Some insurance runs would be nice.
Remember at the outset of the telecast, we talked about 3 Cubs that weren't the sexy big name part of Rizzo, or Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo, and that two-headed offensive monster. Ian Happ, Addison Russell, Javi Baez. Well, the Marlins have kept a couple of the 3 in check until there. Happ into right field. That's a base hit. He is now 1 for 4. Now you've got Wilson Contreras coming up. He's actually in right field now for the Cubs. He came in when Addison Russell came out of the game with some shoulder soreness.
Ian Happ, that was 9. That was his 9th hit in the series. Last time that happened against the Marlins, you got to go all the way back to last year, San Francisco. Brandon Crawford, August. Ian Happ swinging a hot bat even with 2 strikes. Curveball and ripping it into right.
I remember that. The Marlins could not get Crawford out. One of the biggest workloads for Miami's bullpen in these last 4 days has been Kyle Barraclough. Whether he's available or not, we're not sure. Runner goes, swing, throw, got him. Real Muto throws him out.
Hit and run. Contreras unable to do anything with the pitch. Ian Happ doing everything to get to second base, coming up short. D. Gordon holding on to that tag.
And I may have been early with the swing exclamation. Apparently, Contreras checked his swing.
Well, he checked his swing. It was most definitely a hit and run. Very hard pitch to hit and run on.
To 1 from Phelps. This is down low and it's 3-1. Montero behind him. Phelps in here in the 7th. And a running fastball runs right out of the zone. And that's a 1-out walk to Contreras. Here comes Montero.
Phelps has been very good at home. Marlins Park, 0.95 ERA.
Montero RBI single his last time up. He's walked. He's having a nice offensive year. He's on base. Sits at 367. Anytime you have a catcher slugging in the 400s, that's good. He's at 442.
Cut fastball from Phelps. Outside the zone, worked its way back to the outside corner. Good pitch. Montero's last base hit to left field, changeup away, stayed on it, lined it to left.
Brandon Hyde, a special guest appearance there at first base. Hyde, the first base coach, interim manager in Marlins history, all around good guy. It's Marlins bench coach. Was managing in the minor league system for many years. That's cracked into right center. Stanton going to have to chase it down. Does. And the Cubs have a hit, a walk, and a hit. Of course, Real Muto throwing half out, trying to steal his big. Here comes La Stella.
Cut fastball once again, does not cut. Stays inside. Montero fires the hands through. Lines it into right. Tough read for Contreras. Cautiously makes his way to second base.
La Stella, plucky, versatile infielder. Has a sacrifice fly and a single. He's had a productive day.
Comes down 3-2 here in the 7th. Runners on first and second, one out. Done their part as far as getting runners on base. 6 walks today, 8 hits.
Bouncer up the middle. Riddle to the bag and to first for the double play. Big double play for David Phelps. And so far, the bullpen is held. It's still 3-2. 3-2 Miami. Lori Petty from League of Their Own. First pitch. Nice pick by Christian Yelich. And away they went. And in the first inning, the Marlins got off to a quick start. Marcell Ozuna, line drive single to score Ichiro. 2 outs, Martin Prado against a lefty. That would be a double in the gap. And it was 3-0 against Mike Montgomery. But Montgomery wouldn't budge from there. Anthony Rizzo got the Cubs started. This sacrifice fly in the 5th. We move to further action in the 5th inning. Tommy La Stella with a sacrifice fly. Cubs, with their 2 runs, are within 1. There they all are, dressed up. Look at that. Jeff Conine, Craig Minervini, Todd Hollinsworth. 89 degrees outside. 7th inning stretch here at Marlins Park. And a lively bunch. By the way, if you're hanging out watching the game and you got your laptop or your iPad or your device open, why not give some love to some guys that would love to play on July 11th in the All-Star game. JT Realmuto certainly deserves it. Giancarlo Stanton, Justin Bour, and Marcell Ozuna. To vote, go to marlins.com/votes. Ozuna especially needs some help.
I'm looking forward to tomorrow. The vote comes out. I think we're to that stage, right? It's every Monday, so we're going to see an updated number.
And you would hope, as Pedro Strop is on the mound, that Ozuna, who is trailing 2 Cubs, Ben Zobrist and Jason Hayward. Hayward in the 3 spot, Zobrist in the 4 spot, for that last starting spot in the National League outfield. Bryce Harper, Charlie Blackmon are 1 and 2. No surprise there. Here's Gordon now, leading it off against Strop. He zips in a 96-mile-an-hour fastball for ball 1. Ichiro and Stanton will follow. Gordon's first at bat of the day. Strop takes over for Mike Montgomery. 6 innings, just 4 hits and 3 runs.
Strop, well rested, has not pitched in the series. 46 ERA. Opponent's only hitting .216 against him. 95 to 97 mile-an-hour fastball. Slider. This is wipeout pitch. Will quick pitch you if you're not ready.
So be ready.
You may see the quick pitch right here. 1 and 2. Nobody on.
We talked about that, the long homer drought for John Jay. D. Gordon right now has the longest drought in baseball, 309 at bats since a home run. That's amazing. So it's Gordon, who's 1, and now Jay, who is 2. Pulls it down the right field line, deep and foul. Of course, the last home run that D hit was such a moment in Major League Baseball history. And that is the portrait that Joseph Gormley is painting for the Fox Sports Florida fantasy auction. And Gordon actually added to it. He handled the glove. He will sign the painting as well. That's an original piece of Major League Baseball art. Very cool. And that will be up for bid on Wednesday night. Joseph Gormley just does marvelous work. He's been part of the auction now for 4 seasons. And every piece that he's produced for us just drops your jaw. 2-2. Gordon hits it hard on a hop. Happ has it and gets the out. And that brings up Ichiro. So Gordon is now at 314 without a home run. Jay, with his at-bats today, just to update everything, is at 311. So he's right behind him. He throws 0 for 3, reached on an error and scored in the first. You see the box score. Ozuna's RBI single, Prado's 2-run double. The highlight of the day And the danger for the Marlins is the offense has gone cold, much like earlier in the series when they had a 3-1 lead. Fastball misses. And it looked like, hey, it was going to be a nice day against the Cubs. That was yesterday's ball game. The Cubs came back and won it 5-3. Rizzo vacuums it up, and Ichiro another ground ball out.
For the Cubs in this series, yesterday's ball game, going back to earlier in this series, have been able to hold the deficit. Talk about this an awful lot in bullpen terminology. It's not always about protecting the lead. At times you have to protect the deficit, and that's what they've done so well, and have given themselves a chance to win the game yesterday, and even here in this 3-2 ball game as the Marlins offense is slowed down.
Strop against Stanton. Slider, and Stanton missed it by a bunch. See him talking to himself.
Not happy at chasing that first pitch slider way off the corner.
See if he throws another. Fastball, Stanton blisters it. Left field, deep, and gone! He hit it out! That thing barely got 30 feet off the ground, and it whistles out of here, and Miami has a big insurance run.
Talk about a setup. First pitch slider way off the corner. Giancarlo Stanton talking to himself. Pedro Strop takes note. He's like, all right, I've got him set up for a 96-mile-an-hour fastball on the inside part of the plate. Laser. That's what he was looking for.
Number 20 for Stanton. 4-2 Miami. And here is Bohr. Strop misses down low. He missed that slider by so much, and he had the talk with himself, right?
This is what Strop was watching. He's watching the conversation go on. He's saying, I've got him set up for a fastball in. Now, maybe he didn't get it far enough in, but that's what he's thinking. He chases it that bad. I'm not going to go back out there. I'm going to set him up with the fastball in, and Stanton baits him, grabs it, lines it out of the park. That takes an awful lot of pressure off this offense, particularly the bullpen.
Bohr steps out. It's always special for Bohr to face the Cubs, his original organization. Strop goes 3-0. Let's take a look. There's the speed, there's the location, and here's the destination. Next stop, Cubs bullpen.
That's what he was looking for, the first pitch. Got it on the second, didn't leave his game plan. Third home run on the homestand for Stanton.
There's a quick pitch. And there's a strike three. Bohr is out. But Miami gets a run, a loud one. Giancarlo Stanton, 106 off the bat. Just like that, it's 4-2. Well, on a Sunday afternoon, just like a jet boat, Giancarlo Stanton just knocked one out of the park. A line drive that gives the Marlins a much, much needed insurance run. It's 4-2. David Phelps with a breaking ball for a strike. And what a sequence, too. He missed that first pitch slider by at least a foot.
And sometimes you see the obvious in baseball and it tricks you.
That one glanced off the glove of Phelps.
Well, in baseball terminology, you throw a slider that far off the plate. We saw it yesterday or it was a couple games ago with Lackey. You know, that's what you want to do. You want to throw another one out there. He's shaking his head. I'm going to go with the 96 miles an hour, you know, maybe in under the hands right there. What's Stanton do? He says, well, that's what I was looking for the first time. Thanks. Bam. Gets him.
Yeah, you can see over our shoulders. We're still waiting for the apex or the height of that home run.
Sure it goes that low, does it?
Yeah, because that's StatCast, which is serviced by Major League Baseball, which provides home run distance, launch angle, all that cool stuff. The last thing to usually come through is the apex and how high it was off the ground. Now, I said 30 feet, but that's probably hyperbole. I'm guessing maybe 40 feet. Hyperbole in the opposite direction.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I'm going under.
Under 40?
I'm going under 40.
All right. Well, maybe I was close in my first initial estimate.
Do you remember when I came on board earlier this season? I told you about an impressive home run Giancarlo Stanton had actually hit up against the Cubs. It was to the right field line.
I believe it was Kyle Hendricks.
2 or 3 years ago.
Yes, to right field.
That was the home run to left.
Well, after getting the first out in Baez, Phelps walks Mark Zagunis. Zagunis pinch hitting here in the 8th. A.J. Ramos is up. You know, we asked the question, would Kyle Bearclaw be available? And it looks like no is the answer. That's why you got Phelps out here for another inning. And Ramos up in case Don Mattingly needs more than a 3-out save. The one game the Marlins won in Chicago, Ramos had a 4-out save. Phelps misses down low with a breaking ball. Off day tomorrow for everybody, much needed. Phelps at 21 pitches. Jay is 1 for 2 with a walk.
Just only one way around it. Whether it's Phelps or Ramos, navigating the top of the Cubs lineup is going to be part of this ball game.
Ha! Well,
Anthony Rizzo.
We'll get to that in a second. Coors Light Cold Hard Facts. Cubs last year, this year. See the difference in record, difference in the division. Biggest difference you find is at the very bottom, the ERA. Over a run higher. Rolling breaking ball for a strike. All right, the reason I said ha from MLB Barrel Alert. "50 feet off the ground." I was way off. I said 30.
I went low. I don't believe it. I still think it's lower than 50.
Two balls, two strikes.
Well, now the next question is, what's the lowest home run in the StatCast era?
For that, you're going to have to call StatCast.
What about this guy next to me?
That's right, John Chimchuk.
Hi, John.
We'll work on that. Lowest apex for a Major League home run in the StatCast era. Got him! Jay strikes out.
Well done by David Phelps. Locks him up on the inside part of the plate with a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Jay looking out away. Even expecting that backup cutter. Look at the two-seam action, getting just back to the inside corner. Well executed.
And the Marlins are going to make a move here. They want A.J. Ramos to face Anthony Rizzo. And so David Phelps will exit. Marlins will make a double switch here as well. Looks like Tyler Moore is going to come in and play first base. And Ramos comes rolling out of Miami's bullpen. 4-2 fish in the 8th in Miami. In San Diego. Red, orange, and light blue are the batting practice jerseys this year in Miami. All right, here we go. Tyler Moore's at first base, comes in the double switch. A.J. Ramos on the mound. It's Ramos against Rizzo. Rizzo is the tying run with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th.
Up until this point, this is the spot in the game that you're working towards. You have the chance to put Anthony Rizzo away, split up him and Bryant. Bryant would lead off the 9th inning as well if he can get this done. Big at bat.
Softly into center. Ichiro charges. Got it. And Ramos comes in 2 pitches. Ends the 8th. He'll be ready for the 9th. 4-2 Miami. All new RAV4 bring you an inside look. League of Their Own back in '92. We've been celebrating it all day long. Tom Hanks was Jimmy Dugan, the hard-charging manager of the Rockford Peaches. Gina Davis was the power hitter. Lori Petty. Madonna. Rosie O'Donnell in there as well. Did quite well at the box office. I think it did more than 1.3 million. 4-2. Marlins on top. $132 million. Ozuna fouls it off. Marcell Ozuna getting a look at Hector Rondon. Bottom 8. RBI single.
Rondon, once the closer of the Chicago Cubs, rolled as Chapman. Came on board late last year. Acquisition of Wade Davis over the winter. '77 career saves. Now pitches in middle relief. 4.28 ERA. Hard thrower.
JT Realmuto, Martin Prado follow Marcell Ozuna.
Rondon's given up 5 home runs this year.
Three and one. Ozuna at 20, Stanton at 20, Moore at 18. And we're not yet to the halfway point of 2017. This is game number 78. Ozuna left field. Jay back. Shy of the track and the Clevelander. Big crowd in the Clevelander. Jay makes the catch. Rondon a little bit of a smile, maybe in relief on that. That's going to be someplace All-Star Week. Here's Realmuto.
Anticipate it being packed throughout All-Star Week.
You get a sense that of the 4 candidates that the Marlins have, Ozuna, because of where he is in the voting right now, has the best shot.
I agree with that.
But certainly Stanton, with his 20 home runs and his success in the Derby and his national presence, I think Stanton is right there as well. But I think the guy at the plate has got a real shot. Realmuto, because you need catchers. You generally take 3, sometimes 4 catchers.
What you and I are talking about, what we've been talking about, is the popular vote over the last few weeks as far as getting the guys in and getting them voted in.
Right.
I think there's a very good opportunity, very possibility that 3 of the 4 end up at the All-Star game.
Now, Joe Madden has a hand in it. Here's the 1-2. It's in. But remember, it's the player vote that selects the first wave of reserves. And if the player vote equals the popular vote, the fan vote, then the second guy on that list ends up taking the next spot. I don't think, well, look, I'm sure of this, that Ben Zobrist and Jason Hayward are going to be nowhere close on the player vote for the outfield. But I'm guessing that Ozuna is up there.
I think Stanton is as well. JT Realmuto very well may be. The players pay attention differently than the fans do.
Rondon thought he had a strikeout. Real Muto takes it.
The players know JT Real Muto's number of assists from behind home plate. They know how many runners he's thrown out.
You can see that last pitch in yellow just outside the zone. It's a good take. Real Muto smokes it to left. Jay is there and he makes the catch. So with 2 outs, here comes Martin Prado. Home Run Derby. It's a Home Run Derby game, not the competition, but a game that you can play on the App Store and Google Play. Download Home Run Derby for free today.
Marlins offense went into a little shutdown after yesterday's 3-run first inning. Same could be said today. One difference. Giancarlo Stanton home run after that first inning yesterday. 2 hits the rest of the way today. Just the same. 2 hits. Stanton's long, well, I should say long, impressive home run.
Prado wondering why Rondon doesn't have a baseball until now, because the throw from Miguel Montero ended up in center field. It not only happens with the Rockford Peaches and with Little League players, but sometimes even in the major leagues, a catcher misses the pitcher. As long as it doesn't become a thing. 1-2 to Prado. 5 hits for Miami, a 4-2 lead. Prado swings and misses. And now A.J. Ramos, who got the final out of the 8th, is coming on to try to get 3 more. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By Jeep, get great deals on the Jeep lineup at the Jeep Spring Clearance events. And by your South Florida Honda dealers. We bid adieu to the Rockford Peaches. League of their own celebration today. A.J. Ramos trying to end the day and hold the lead and save this ball game. To do it, he has to go through the treacherous part of the Cubs lineup. Bryant, Happ, and Contreras, 2, 3, 4. Bryant 1 for 3. You can hear Cub fans starting the chant. Marlin fans trying to match it. Oh, and 2. Righty on righty change.
Takes just enough off in comparison to the fastball. Bryant way out in front.
Sharp breaking ball. Strike 3.
Same spot. So the change up there goes to the slider. Give him a different look, but go to that same spot where the miss was. There's the miss once again.
Remember, this was a 1-run game. And Edinson Volquez, leaking oil through 5, handed it over to the bullpen. There's Happ. Harlan Garcia came in and pitched an uneventful 6th. A scoreless inning for him. David Phelps with a few arms down, one of those being Kyle Barraclough. Phelps came in, worked around a couple of hits and a walk in the 7th. And then got 2 outs in the 8th. Ramos came on, finished off Anthony Rizzo for the last out of the 8th, and here he is, 1 out deep in the 9th.
If and when A.J. Ramos finishes this one off, so we'll look back, talk about missed opportunities in this game.
Big hop for Gordon. There's 2 outs.
In today's ball game for the Cubs, 7 walks, 8 hits, went 4 for 18 with runners on base. To this point, have left 11 guys on, leaving a runner on in every inning so far. Part of that, Edinson Volquez walks, base hits. Big hit, elusive.
Wilson Contreras. Ramos in safe situations. Good this year.
Contreras into the ball game for Addison Russell about halfway through. Picked up a couple of walks. It's coming onto the scene. Stolen base.
That was a big one.
Set up the 2nd run.
AJ always sharper when he has work, and he's had work. Saved the win in this series. Had a save and a win in the National Series. Good breaking ball for a strike.
Front door breaking ball by AJ. Contreras gives up on it early. Catches the corner. Comes down to their last strike.
Crowd on their feet. Ramos ready. 2-2. And it's pulled foul.
Great execution by Ramos. Back-to-back breaking balls. First to that inside corner, then working away. Contreras thinking about a lot up there.
Two. Busted bat. Shallow center. Gordon calling. Gordon catching. Ball game. Miami beats the Cubs. 4-out save. Terrific bullpen. A Stanton laser show. A Prado 2-run double. Another RBI knock for Marcell Ozuna. And the Marlins split this series with the World Series champs.
Masterful job by the bullpen.
4-2 the final. Craig Minervini Jeff Conine, Marlins Live, coming up.